Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dawn Huffey. I'm the owner of Liberty Belle Coaching, and my life coaching certifications came through the Brave Thinking Institute. Thank you for joining me for this Brave Thinking Masterclass. I do this once a month, and just seeing who will be interested and attracted to my coaching style and to me. And if you're ready, I have a nice gift at the end of this presentation. I think you'll love it. Okay, so you made the decision to be here today, and it is my intention that you leave here today knowing 3 tools that can help you achieve your goals and dreams even faster than you imagine. I'd like you to have greater clarity on what those dreams are and to feel even more confident in the power that lives within you to achieve your goals and dreams. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to share a story that will help us to take the first step. And I'm going to also share my screen because I have a PowerPoint presentation for you. There we go. So the power of vision, 3 keys to mastering your results. I'm going to give you 3 keys today and 3 tools. And now for the story. A mother mouse was leading her 3 children through a house when all of a sudden they came around the corner and saw a cat. The cat was about to attack, and the mother mouse said in a very loud voice, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and the cat ran away. The mother mouse turned to her babies and said, "That is the power of learning more than one language." Why this story matters to you is because today we are going to be looking at the language of success. This is the language that will bring our dreams into reality. We need to use the proper words. Our words are so powerful. There's a pattern, a system, a way of doing things that creates the results you want. And once you consciously understand what that language is, then you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to improve. That is what the Dream Builder program is all about, learning a new language of success for life. I am going to focus on the Dream Builder program today. I actually can coach clients through 5 different programs, all of them very unique and beneficial. Do you have a goal or a dream, or is there some area of your life that you'd like to improve? I think that most of us can say, yes, I'd like something to be better in my life. And we have achieved certain things as we've gone along. And so that proves that we are capable of that. And when we have dreams, that's just telling us that God's not done with us yet. We have more to explore and more to do. So my intentions for today give you 3 tools to help you achieve your goals, to gain greater clarity on your goals and dreams, and to feel even more confident in your own ability. You are capable of far more than you know. We all are. We just need to recognize it and tap into all that capability. Let's take just a minute and ask ourselves, what challenge is going on in my life right now? Is there some area of your life that is causing you pain? Perhaps it's in your health, your job, your lack of free time, a relationship, or maybe it's finances. So we all have challenges. This is the way it is on earth. And it's so interesting because I just went to visit my mom. She's in assisted living. And she asked me, "Are you happy?" And I've had challenges just like everybody else has. And I said, Mom, I am. And happiness is a choice. I told her happiness is a choice. I think she was kind of worried, did I do the best job I could with Dawn? Because she's, had some stuff go on. And I was able to tell her, Mom, it's a choice to be happy. We all have challenges, and to hang on to our joy as we go through those challenges the best we can, or to return to it after we get through the grief and the heartache. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a blessing that was to tell her that. You know, she has regrets about stuff, you know, like a lot of us have had. Okay, so we have two signals that tell us it's time for more growth. And the first signal is our longing. We long for something that we don't have. Second signal is we're discontent with something in our life. And so these two signals are telling us, first of all, longing is that we haven't created something that we really desired. And discontentment means something in our current circumstances isn't right. But these two signals cause us to grow. They signal us to grow. We don't want to get stuck in the longing and stuck in the discontent. We don't want to stay there for decades. No, we want to figure out how to get to our longing. And the Dream Builder program does that so beautifully. So you can be pushed by the pain, or you can be pulled by a vision. These two energies, the pain of your problem and the desire for what you want, are essential for creating something different, for creating different results. I want to share a time in my life where pain pushed me to make a change. I heard the longing, I saw the longing, I knew I had a longing, and I wasn't doing anything about it. And so what happened? I got pushed into pain. So here we go. As some of you might know, in the fall of 2020, I was feeling so frustrated at all of the restrictions and requirements at my job in the private school where I worked. We all remember the horribleness of all of the dictates that were giving out what to do and what to, you know, all that. And I wasn't about to comply with all the things they were telling me I had to do. I knew if I did comply, I would be so unhappy with myself because I've done that before and it doesn't work out. It's not good for me. On the final day of in-service, when the new restrictions were delivered, I made a decision. I decided that my job was coming to an end on that day. I didn't give a notice. No, I didn't. I just emailed my boss that night and said, I'm quitting. It wasn't convenient doing that, and it wasn't comfortable making that decision, but the alternative was simply not acceptable to me. I was pushed by the pain to make a change. Within a month of leaving that job, I discovered a life coach named Mary Morrissey. I got an email in my inbox. This is not a coincidence. It's by design. It was meant for me because I had quite a few things to learn. And I learned so much from Mary Morrissey. So I enrolled in an 8-week program. And within that program, she was talking about the life coaching program. And so just a few months later, I enrolled in the life coaching program. I'm so glad I did. I'm helping other people, and it's benefited me in ways I'm so grateful for. Yes. Now, what about you? What's your next big dream? How are you going to feel when your dream becomes a reality? And I'd love to help you get there. In the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success when you apply them to your life. Today, you will learn 3 of these principles that you can apply right now. People just watching this masterclass have great benefits. I just had one lady the other day message me and say that something that I taught her in her free masterclass, she still uses today, and it helps her so much. To me, that is why I'm doing this. I love helping people, and for her to tell me that was just a gift. It's an absolute gift. I am going to give you a promise today. I'm going to give you the best I can in the time that we have together. And at the end of this presentation, I actually have two gifts. I'm giving out two today, feeling extra generous. All right, so we'll get to that later. We are constantly creating results in our life. We could say we are constantly creating experiences in our life. And we create them by two different ways, by default and by design. Now, when we create our life by default, it means we're choosing thoughts that we've already thought. We're choosing to do what we've already done. We're choosing beliefs that we've already believed. We're not challenging our beliefs. We're running on beliefs that more than likely some of them are detrimental from our childhood, and we're still running on them because they're in our subconscious mind running automatically. And we're ignoring the signals that cause us to grow. This is all our default pattern. Living your life by default. Now, if you live your life by design, like we do, when you become a brave thinker and, learn these tools and principles, we vision out what we want. We state it out in a certain way. And when we get downtrodden, we pull ourselves off from all that downtroddenness and we focus on what we would love. Now let's learn to expand your awareness for success in the areas of life that matter to you. There are 4 major domains of life in which we experience our results. The first area is our health and well-being. The next is love and relationships. Then we have vocation, and finally, time and money freedom. Everybody has results in each of these areas of their life right now. The results that you are getting in your life in these areas are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. So let's expand your awareness together by studying the pattern that creates results, or what I call the results formula. This is what the results formula looks like. We first have thoughts in our mind. We think thoughts all day long. We cannot not think thoughts. If you try it, you probably won't get over 20, 30, 40 seconds. It's just the way our brains work, okay? Next, those thoughts cause us to have certain feelings. Depending on what you're thinking, you could be mad at somebody and thinking about that, and you just get into resentment and anger and all that. And those feelings cause us to take certain actions. Maybe we write a nasty letter or send a mean text. Yeah, okay, and then what are you going to get? You're going to get a result. That would probably give you a big fat fight, okay? Yeah. Now, I want to talk to you about another layer that's underneath the thoughts. I really got a great understanding of this when I took the Compassion Key training in 2020. What year was that? I think it was 2023. Wow. Okay, that surprised me. I forgot what year that was. Okay, anyway, underneath the thoughts are our patterns. Underneath the thoughts are our paradigms. And our paradigms are our patterns and our beliefs, our long-standing beliefs, all kind of rolled together. So when we are living our life out of these patterns and these unhealed parts of us, they cause us to have certain thoughts. Most of us have had trauma. I'm going to venture out and say all of us have had some sort of trauma growing up. If we don't process through it, those traumas get frozen inside of us, and all of the emotions surrounding that trauma get trapped inside of us as well. And out of that comes certain patterns. Say, for example, if your daddy left when you were 6 years old, you never saw him again, the pattern that comes out of that is a pattern of abandonment. So you're going to choose men that abandon you until you heal the wound or you have some miracle. Two ways to get that. So that is the other layer that I wanted to talk to you about. Some people resist the concept that we are in charge of what happens to us. For years, for decades, I wanted to blame everybody else because they did this and they treated me this way and they were awful to me and all of that. And once I started studying these principles, and this is what I'm going to talk about later, but I'll bring it up now, the laws, the 11 laws that are operating. So the law of attraction, that vibration of abandonment is vibrating out, even though you're not aware of it. It doesn't matter. It's frozen inside of you and it's vibrating out, and it's saying abandonment, abandonment. And so you attract people who abandon you. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. Some people resist this concept, these ideas about our own thoughts. I remember decades ago, I didn't even know what I was thinking. I just didn't even pay attention to what I was thinking. So what a process this has been for me to get in charge of my thoughts. People don't really like to think that their life is the result of their own thinking or their own dysfunctional patterns. Nonetheless, it's true. It can be difficult to accept, but truth is truth. The good news is that we can change the patterns, we can change the paradigms. And that's what I help people do. If you want to create new results in your life, we need some new tools. We need some new results. So I'm going to share with you Brave Thinking tool number 1, which is notice what you're noticing. So just take a breath in through your nose, breathe out nice and slow through your mouth, like you're breathing through a straw. And just notice what you're noticing. Right now, I notice my refrigerator fan is very, very noisy. It needs to be fixed. What are you noticing? There are certain thoughts going through your mind. This is where we really want to use this tool, is to notice what we're thinking. We want to really shift the results. We need to shift what we're thinking, and we can't shift them until we are aware of what we're thinking. Let's move on. We're going to do a life assessment. You're going to need something to write with and some paper. You might be a person who doesn't know what your dream is. You just know there's something more out there for you. Maybe you have lots of dreams and you don't know whether to choose one or create them all at once. Every one of us has a dream inside of us somewhere. I just had a dream resurface, and it just came full force up front. And it's like, wow, I'm so happy I'm reviving this dream. Yes, it's invigorated me, and it will when you do the same thing. When you put your attention back on the long lost dream, it will fire you up. We are going to start with our health and well-being area. You might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health. Or maybe you have relatively good health, no symptoms, but you know that there's more vibrancy and aliveness that you could feel. All right, what I'm going to do is to invite you to write down one or two things that you're noticing in your health and well-being. And I'm going to keep us on track here with time, so I'm just going to give us 1 minute to do this. So ready? Go ahead and write. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Next, I'm going to ask you to give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means your health is really suffering right now. It's very frustrating. And 5 means you're feeling vibrant and alive and invigorated. So go ahead and write down a number. Thank you. Moving on, we're going to love and relationships area. You might be a person who longs to have a beautiful, deep, fun, passionate relationship with a loving and caring partner. Or maybe you would love to deepen, expand, and have more fun with the relationship that you are already in. Once again, we'll take 1 minute to reflect on love and relationships. I think let's just choose one relationship. It could be with a spouse, a parent, a child, sibling, a friend. Doesn't really matter, just the one that pops up into your mind. And write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing there. Ready, go. Oh, time's almost up. Okay, now, next, just give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 of where you feel you're at with this relationship. I'm so happy to say that today my relationship with my mom is a 5, and she's 93. Believe me when I say we have had times where it's been a 1. So I'm so grateful to be where I'm at with her. Such a blessing. Yes, it is. Okay. Next, we are going on to vocation, or how you express yourself in the world. So for me, that's my coaching. So whatever it is for you, you might be a person who feels stuck in a job you don't like. Or maybe you like your work, but you work too many hours and you want more time freedom. Go ahead and write 1 or 2 things down that you're noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 where you are at in your vocation. And now we'll move on to the last area, which is time and money freedom. You might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more money than time or more time than money, and you'd love to feel more in harmony. Let's write down 1 or 2 things you're noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay. Lastly, you can write down a number between 1 and 5 where you feel you're at with this area. How stressed are you about time? How frazzled are you about money freedom? Thank you so much for participating in this assessment. Oftentimes, when things are not going well in our life, we just shove it off to the side and we don't look at it. It's a good way of coping, but it's not a good way of changing. So I'm all about improving lives and helping people improve their situations. And so we want to bring these things to the forefront and examine them. So it takes courage to do that. Thank you for doing that. So we got the assessment done. Good job. Next, we're going to talk about key number 1 or principle number 1, and that is designing your dream. Remember, I said design is one way that you can create your future. This is principle number 1 in the Dream Builder program. I'm going to share some quotes with you about visioning and dreaming. First one is from the Dalai Lama. In order to carry a positive action, we develop here a positive vision. In the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. This is how important it is to look to the future, to know what you want, to know what you would love, to know what you would like to change. We don't want to be perishing and shriveling up. No, we want to be thriving. People with goals succeed because they know where they are going. And this is by Earl Nightingale. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream by C.S. Lewis. Every great dream begins with the dreamer by Harriet Tubman. And the last quote is by Eleanor Roosevelt. And she said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. It is so important that we believe in the dream that we design. We can fall out of belief, but we want to get ourselves out of our doubt and fear and worry and come back to believing. We want to be in believing more than we're in our doubts. And I'll teach you all about that. Clarity is power. Without a clearly defined blueprint, you cannot build your dream, just like you must have a clear blueprint if you want to build a house. So let's design the blueprint for your dream and let's make it crystal clear. Consider the 4 domains of your life. So we just went through those: health and well-being, love and relationships, vocation, and time and money freedom. Choose one that you really want to work on and what you really want to change first. Now, I want to talk about the questions that we ask in our mind. The quality of our life is determined by the questions we ask. This is really a really helpful, beneficial concept to understand. We want to ask good quality questions. We don't want poor quality questions. And the one question that is really empowering is to ask yourself, what would I love? This is brave thinking tool number 2. What would I love? We have noticed what you're noticing, and then what would I love? So those are the first 2 brave thinking tools. I use this tool all day long. When I get up, I think, oh, what shirt do I want to wear? Or what outfit do I want to wear? What jewelry do I want to wear? And if I put something on and it doesn't feel right, it's not something I absolutely love, I change it until I get to the place of what I would love. Because in my past, I have done what other people want me to do. And so I really want to tap into what I want for me and what is best for me, not what other people think is best for me. So I practice this, practice it, practice it. Okay, so you are going to ponder over this question because we're going to do a little exercise of that. Yeah. I do want to talk about other questions that you could be asking yourself, and questions that start with why pull you into victimhood very often. Why isn't this happening? I don't know why. Oh my goodness. Why pulls you into victimhood? So when you hear yourself start your question with why, pay attention to the rest of the words that are coming out of there, because usually it will drag you into victimhood and whining. Now, the other word I want to caution you about is starting your question with when. When is it going to happen? When is this going to show up? When this is another form of whining and complaining. And whining and complaining, that's the language of the devil. We don't want to use that. We want to notice when we're using it and then stop it. And then come back to what would I love? What makes me feel better? What makes me feel good? All right, so let's go back to brave thinking tool number 2. What would I love? I am going to take you through a process called the time machine. Imagine you are getting into a time machine and traveling 3 years into the future. And 3 years from now, everything you wanted completely worked out. Yes. I'm going to need something to write with and paper again. So we're going to delve into this. What would you love? We're going to write out a mini vision for this one area of your life that you picked out. And your vision statement is going to start with this phrase. I am so happy and grateful now that. So just take a few seconds and write that out. Excellent. In a moment, I'm going to give you 2 full minutes to write down what you would love in this area of your life. Suspend any urge to figure out how this result is going to happen. We're not going to concern ourselves with the how. That'll all unfold as we work together. What I want you to focus on is what you would love for this area of your life. And just create it as if someone gave you the power to create it. Now, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. And breathe out nice and slow, like you're breathing through a straw through your mouth. Again, another breath. This calms our nervous system down. It also allows us to go into the creative side of our brain. Now, imagine it is 3 years from now. It is 2028, and all challenges are solved. Consider what you would love for your life. What great things are occurring for you? If you could not fail, what experiences are you having? Who are you with? See it. How does it feel? Now open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life you are imagining. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Time is up. At the end of this mini vision, I invite you to write this out, this or something even better still. And after you write it out, we'll talk about it a little bit. Excellent. The reason we put this at the end of our vision is because from where we are right now, this is the vision that you created. Maybe in 2 weeks or a month, you see something over there and you go, oh, I like that even better. So that is even better than what you visioned up today. We want to keep this document open to something even better. We want to be able to change this document. That's what this phrase at the end allows. God might have something even better out there for us that we can't see today. Good job. And we are on our way. This is the beginning of designing a life you would love. I know you might not know how this dream is going to happen, and that's okay for now. Great dream builders are willing to suspend the need to know the how at the beginning of this process. So we'll check this one off because we've gotten some insight into that. And of course, in the Dream Builder program, we go into this key into much more depth. Now that you have the start of a clearly defined dream, let's move on to principle number 2, which is deciding for your dream. Best-selling author and life coach Bob Proctor said this: there is a simple mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this mental activity, and it is called decision. We must make a decision, a firm decision for our dream that helps bring the dream into reality. I took a class years ago, and there were certain statements that we said, and one was, I decide. I have people in my life that I know that are so indecisive and so slow to decide. Oh my goodness. Yes, because they have so many patterns and so many blocks, and it's like we want to get firm and proclaim, I decide, I'm doing this thing, I'm going for it. And I will help you get stronger in that because it's important. It's really important. Deciding for new results is an action step we can take to get us out of our old results. Remember, if you're going to change, we got to get out of the old results. We got to let them go, get our new ones. I have a story for you about Judy. And Judy took a program that was very similar. Mary had offered this program early on, really wasn't named Dream Builder program, but it was all the same principles. And I want to share the story with you. Judy didn't have much education. She worked in a fast food restaurant during the day and did alterations as a seamstress at night. She lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment with her 2 children. Her dream was to have a home for her family. Judy came across a program much like this one I'm talking about today. She decided that if she was ever going to change her life, that she needed support. So she took a huge leap and made a decision for her dream and enrolled in the Dream Builder program. I did that same thing when I started working with Mary. I knew that I needed support. I knew that I needed almost daily support to change my thinking and to change my patterns because they were so ingrained. Maybe you can relate to that. Now, for Judy, this was a tough thing to do, to enroll in this program, because of course there's a cost and there's time, but she got up her courage and she made a decision to make a change. She told her coach that her dream was to own her own home, but that she only had $500 a month for rent. She believed that there was no way she could ever buy or even rent a house for $500 a month. So hear that strong belief, there's no way I can do it. Her coach asked her to describe the dream house, and Judy had really a lot of difficulty getting specific about her house. But with prompting, Judy finally did come up with a pretty detailed description of her dream house. But Judy kept going back to her default pattern and saying, I only have $500 a month. I can never get it. It's impossible. She even stated out it's impossible. We have to be careful with our words and noticing our words. She's saying it's impossible. We don't want to be proclaiming our dream is impossible. We want to be proclaiming it is possible. Of course, her coach knew all this, so she would help her with tools and different phrasing, different words. So Judy's coach said to her, now that you have a mental picture of the house, go out and look for it. Judy thought this was absolutely crazy because, of course, she's operating on the belief I'm never going to get it. But her coach said, look, go out and look for it. So she did. After 2 weeks, she found her dream home. But of course, she said to her coach, it's $900 a month. I can't have it. Had Judy been on her own, that would more than likely have been the end of it all. And to this day, she still might be living in that tiny one-bedroom apartment with 2 kids. Oh my. Her coach, on the other hand, knew the language. Remember the language of success? She knew the mindset and the empowering questions to ask. So her coach said to Judy, Judy, if you did not know that it was impossible and you really thought there was a chance you could get that house, what would you do? At first, Judy couldn't think of an answer, but after about a week, she really sat down and pondered, what could I do to get that house? She got an answer. The answer was that she would write a letter to the owner and explain her situation. In her letter, Judy described 40 things that she would personally do to improve the home if the owner would let her rent for $500 a month and that he paid for the materials. She would do the labor. 3 weeks after she sent the letter, she got a call from the homeowner and he said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but something in your letter just won't leave me alone. This is so important to recognize. This homeowner got drawn into Judy's dream. Parts start to line up to help you manifest your dream. And this homeowner was part of that. He had, I think it was 2 other renters that were willing to pay the $900 a month. But remember, he's saying something in your letter just won't leave me alone. It kept nagging at him. So he said to Judy, you sign a contract outlining what you will do every quarter, and I'll let you live in the house for 1 year for $500 a month. Judy was ecstatic, called her coach, said, we're moving in 30 days. Isn't that such a great story? I love that story. And the story doesn't actually end there. Over the course of the year, Judy did everything she promised the owner she would do. And within 3 years, Judy owned that house. Her dream had come true. And she learned a new way of thinking thanks to her coach. That new way of brave thinking also got her a new career. Judy started her own home-based business and she got to spend more time with her children while her income soared. Her life had a whole new meaning. And this can happen for you too. So it all starts with making a decision. You just look at the doubts and, the reasons why it won't work, and you take your focus off of that and go back to what would I love? Say yes to possibilities and opportunities. You decide for new results. Okay, go ahead and read this screen. I love this screen. Every time I read it, I can read it like it's typed perfect. It just amazes me over and over. Now, I want to relate this to your dream. There is a reason that you read this screen. We know the beginning letter and we know the ending letter, and the middle is all jumbled up. Doesn't matter. You still can decipher and figure out the word. I'm going to relate this to your dream. So we know the beginning. It's where we are right now. And we know the end because we just did a mini vision in that one area of your life. So we know the beginning and we know the end. And the middle is all jumbled up. It's unknown. We don't know. It doesn't matter. We're going to get there anyway. Just like we could read the word, we're going to get to your dream. Yes. Love that. Thanks for playing along with that. So where we are now and what you would love, and in the middle is the how. The how is going to come up. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how it's going to happen. We're going to put a strike through the how. We're not going to get hung up on the hows. Once you take an action step, you're going to be in a new experience. You're going to be in a new result. Remember when you take an action step in the results formula? And so when you're in a new area or a new experience, you see different things. You see different options. And this is the beauty of the Dream Builder program. We look for all the options and opportunities. This leads us to key number 3, befriending your fear. We all know that when we venture out into new territory, fear rises up. Yes, it does. It can be kind of nerve-wracking for some of us, but we're in new territory. We've never done it before, so we get a little fearful. It's just the way it goes. But we want to talk about making fear our friend. We just want to recognize that when fear rises up, it just means that we're pushing into new areas to grow. Don't look at it as a signal that, oh, I'm fearful about that, I better not do it. No, if it lines up with the 5-question test, and I'll talk about that in the program, then you keep moving forward on your dream. You take the step despite the fear. Let's do. There are a lot of phrases that come up in people's mind when they go into new territory. And I want to share some of them with you. So when they come up in your mind, you'll have a recognition. Oh, Dawn talked about that. The first one is, yeah, right, that isn't going to happen. How are you ever going to do that? Or you might think, where are you going to get the time to do that? What about the money? Where are you going to get the money? These are nasty, mean phrases, and they will trip you up if you get stuck in all of the questioning and all of the wondering. These nasty phrases are coming from your paradigms. They're coming from your old beliefs. They're coming from your patterns, your dysfunctional patterns, because we have good patterns. I mean, there's patterns of generosity and kindness. But of course, those patterns won't be saying nasty things. But the dysfunctional patterns will be saying nasty, nasty phrases and questions. And we're going to, bring that really down where you're hardly saying these mean things to yourself at all. Next, I want to talk about some patterns that I see over and over again with people. Oh my. Yes. The first one is someone will say to me, now is not a good time. I'm just going to wait till later. This is the pattern of delay. This pattern is very common. It's the pattern of delay. There's always some reason to delay. Oh, I'm going to wait till my daughter gets married. Oh, I'm going to wait till the summertime. And then when summer's over, oh, I'm going to wait till the kid gets in school. And after, they get settled, you just keep delaying. There's another reason to delay. You just have a pattern of delay. And what happens then? You never get it done. No, you don't. Okay. The second pattern I see is a pattern of shame. You shame yourself about doing something different and new. You don't have the money for that. That's so irresponsible. You should spend it on this instead of that. And you start shaming yourself. And shame, we don't want that operating at all inside of you. So we want to really discover if it's buried deep inside of you and use the compassion key technique to heal that. Yes, because what you'll do, if you don't, you'll be attracting situations to make you feel ashamed. It's the law of attraction. It's just the way it works. All right. The last paradigm I want to talk about is the I'm not good enough. Oh my, this is so common. I had it. You just think to yourself, oh, I don't have the credentials to do that. I never went to college. I can't do that. No, this I'm not good enough does not serve you. It doesn't serve anybody. So we want to be sure to heal that and dissolve that negative pattern. There is a determined part of you. And then there's another part of you that has fear that's going to rise up and ask, what if I fail? And so what if you do fail? We've all had failures. No, they're not fun. No, they're not fun. Some of them are really awful. But let's just talk about when you were a baby and you were learning to walk. More than likely, you would fall down over and over again, but you just kept getting up. We want to give ourselves permission to fail enough so that we learn to walk or we learn to get to our dream. Something I think happens as we become adults, we don't give ourselves permission to make mistakes. When we go doing something new, we need to give ourselves the grace that yes, oh, we can make a mistake and it's okay. We'll just say, this is new. I've never done this before. I made a mistake. Forgive yourself and just go in a different direction then, or use a different tactic. We want to really be loving and graceful with ourselves. Lots of celebrities have failed, everybody's had failure, but oftentimes when we persevere beyond the failure, that's when we get to our dream. We can't give up. If you give up, you're never going to get to your dream. So we want to befriend our fear. Parts of you want to go forward, and parts of you want to stay right where you are in your comfort zone. You want to play small. And in the middle, we have fear. So we want to put a strike through that. Now, Mary has just a great idea about fear. We don't want to deny our feelings when they come up. We want to notice them. You can say to the fear, I see you, fear. I want to move forward on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an appointment with you for 3 days away from today. And so you put the appointment on your calendar. You pick out a time, appointment with fear. And when fear rises up throughout the next 3 days, just say, we have an appointment. I'm going to talk to you on whatever day it is. Okay. So this is the way to calm the fear as you're learning to manage these patterns of fear and all these different patterns of emotions that come up. Now, fear has two companions. They are doubt and worry. You can do the same thing with doubt and worry. You can make an appointment in 3 days. And then what you want to do is do some brave thinking and bring yourself back to your dream. Instead of focusing on the fear, doubt, and worry, bring yourself back to your dream. And how does it feel to be in your dream? Feel, the exuberance of it all and the joy of it all. Get into that area of feeling because we want to be in that good, wonderful feeling place more than we're in our fear, doubt, and worry. That's the key. We're never going to get it 100%. Nobody will. But we definitely need to be 70 to 80% over here in the good emotions and feelings of the dream. Okay, I lost my place here. Where am I? I got to go to my next page. Okay. Now, I'm going to invite you to think up an action step that you can do to get you closer to your dream. Maybe you need to do some research. Maybe you need to call somebody who's really good at what you really want to be good at. Maybe you need to read a book, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is for you, but take 25, 30 seconds and write down an action step. Ready, go. Okay, next, I want you to put that action step on your calendar. It's a promise to yourself that, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through with it. I'm doing this thing. Help yourself to be accountable by putting it in your calendar. So go ahead. Progress is more important than perfection. So even taking the smallest step toward your dream will put you into a different place. You'll be closer to your dream. The key is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. And this is tool number 3. Brave thinking tool number 3 is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. Beautiful. The choices and the actions you take today are ultimately who you become tomorrow. It's where you end up, but it's also who you become, because the most beautiful thing about getting to your dream is that you change into a brighter version of yourself. Yes, you do. So we've talked about 3 keys: designing your dream, deciding for your dream, and befriending your fear. And remember, there are 10 steps, and we go into all of them in much more deep detail in the 12-week Dream Builder program. We just really want you to absorb this. You are worthy of your dream and a life that you absolutely love. Yes, you are. So now as we come to a close, here is the gift. Actually, here are the 2 gifts I promised you. So the first one is I offer free visioning sessions, and they last about an hour, and they're over Zoom. So what we'll do is we'll get into more detail about how to write the vision, the proper wording. We're going to go venture out into the other 3 areas of your life and make a fuller vision. You'll also get to know me a little bit better, to know if you want to work with me. We'll see how well we work together, and then you can decide. Yes, you can decide. So this session is valued at $250. So please take advantage of that and schedule a visioning session with me. I will leave my email below so that you can just send me an email to get scheduled in. Now, the second gift, and I just thought of this before I got on, I just absolutely love this book, and I coach people through a program called Working with the Law. There are 11 laws that operate, and if you are fighting against them, you are fighting against yourself. And it will make your journey to get to your dream so much more difficult. And so, of course, one of them is the law of attraction. Another one is the law of receiving. A lot of us have blocked receiving. And so if you're not open to receiving your dream, you're not going to get it. And so this Working with the Law is a 12-week program. It is so phenomenal. And I'm offering it to people for 25% off. So if you sign up in the month of April, yes, I will give you 25% off. I love that program, and I'm ready to do another one. So yes, take advantage of that. It's my gift for you today. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We're done with the PowerPoint. Okay, stop share. Okay, great. Remember, as you walk back into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you are facing. You have incredible power within you. This is your moment. This is your time to take bold action. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Okay. So taking bold action, deciding, I decide. So I know that I didn't come this far to only come this far. I have more things that I want to venture out and do. I just had this dream revived within me in the last few days, and it's just so invigorating. Life is not done with you yet, because something magnificent is happening with you. Yes, it is. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And just reach out if you're ready to move forward to get to your dream life. Thank you.